Who are the VGK breakout candidates for the upcoming season? Our picks come your way next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app today. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase, and terms apply. So today we want to look at who can have a breakout season for VGK. And this one person I want to start off with, Chris, already had a career season, and I'm always skeptical. However, the trajectory is still going up, and I'm talking about Nick Waugh. Perhaps had 41 points last season. In 5 Las Vegas seasons, he's a plus 42. So they need to have him on the ice whenever they can. Was in the top 6 earlier in the season, I believe, with Barbashev and Marchessault, right? Had an 8 or 9 game point streak this past season, and he continues his upward trajectory. I'm going to go with Waugh with a bullet on my list.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Waugh, I've talked about a couple of times. I want to see Nick Waugh not on the fourth line. Now, does that mean Nick Waugh is not a center? That where things get a little muddy, unfortunately. But however it works out, I don't know if it's just a full training camp of him playing on the wing. I don't know, or maybe something else happens with player movements. But just seeing what Nick Waugh could do from an offensive perspective in the top 9 role would be a lot of fun to see. And I think he could be, I don't think he's going to be like a 60-point player, but I can definitely see him hitting, in the low 50s, upper 40s on a regular basis while still being a very good defensive type of player. I mean, there's obviously some similarities in him and Carlson's game, but Nick Waugh obviously has a lot more of an edge and can cause a lot more trouble. I'll start with Caden Korczak. I mean, I think that's a pretty obvious one. It seems like Korczak is going to be in line for an expanded role, and depending on movements and such, that can certainly on upcoming trades, that can certainly impact a lot of things as far as what his role is going to be next year. But only 26 games last year. I say only. He was a plus 12 in 26 games, 1 goal, 8 assists. So he has that ability to put points up on the board, but he also plays a very responsible game. Played a few full seasons down in Henderson, so they've really done a good job developing Korczak, and I certainly think he is ready to take on an expanded workload. And you might not see it from a statistical perspective, but if he plays 50-55 games, he'll automatically be in a great breakout candidate just based off of that.
And, if, again, based on re-signings and such, you've got Mike Amadio, who is a unrestricted free agent, and hopefully they can re-sign him. I think he made over $900,000 when he was with the Kings, and he's been at, I think, the 62,000 level, I think, with VGK, something like that. Turned out to be a really good depth piece for VGK. This was the contract season for him. He's gotten limited time on the ice. But again, he's been around the net. I think in due time, a lot of those shots that weren't going through, I think might go through. He's just been right there around the net. So he's been good around the crease. And he came off the bench to score a goal and had an assist in the Dallas series after Game 3. And he tied a career best of 27 points.
And I'll focus on that for a second. I think in an interview, I had talked to Amadio about it being a career type of season. I might have jinxed him. I thought he made a comment that he's likely to exceed all of his career numbers and such. And at the end of the day, he actually matched his season over season points total at 27. Played 6 greater games this season versus the last season. But again, another player who, like Nicholas Waugh, you want to see him maybe get a fixed role, whereas Mike Amadio's value comes from the fact that he does not need to be on the same line every single game. He could play center in the top two lines if need be. You don't do that for a long time, but it's certainly a role he can fill. Third line winger is his bread and butter, and if he has to go down to the fourth line and play a little more of an energy type of role, Amadio definitely checks a lot of boxes. As far as his next contract, we talked about this. He's going to look at Brett Howden. The agent's going to look at Brett Howden, and then he's going to talk to Kelly McCrimmon like, hey, Amadio's worth more than this guy. And I don't know if the Golden Knights can find a way to get Amadio for about the $2 million AAV range, whether it's
$2 million. Yeah. Huh.
Brett Howden makes 1.9 or something like that. That's the thing.
He's eating BLTs with the boss.
It's the housing market. You're going to look at comparables down the street. Hey, that house down there just sold for 1.9 million, and it got a 2-year deal. And I've done a little bit better for this team than Brett Howden. That's just the reality. So
you're saying double his salary plus? Yeah,
double what Amadio used to make. Yeah, I just think you look at comparables and such like that. I mean, I don't know. Well, I do have the stats in front of me here. Brett Howden last season, 72 games, 19 points, minus 11.
Wow.
Like Amadio, 73 games, 27 points, plus 4. And plus minus, that's a pretty big swing right there. That's a pretty big swing. Dorofeyev, that's obviously, I don't know if breakout that it fits the bill there, because I think if he plays 82 games, it's expected for him to get about between 40 and 50 points. Does he explode and go for 60, 65 points, which I think is the type of player Pavel Dorofeyev could mold into. But again, it goes down to Dorofeyev really needing to have a consistent spot, whether it's with William Karlsson on the third line or somewhere in the top 6. I think Dorofeyev really has potential to, 45 points, 82 games, if he can stay healthy, I think is about the floor. Can that go up into the mid-50s, even as high as 60 points? Dorofeyev might be one of the best pure scorers on the Golden Knights. He's got a great shot. He's not afraid to go to the net. He does well on the power play. He does a lot of the little things right, and he's only getting older and smarter and getting a better understanding of Cassidy's system.
Yeah, he's got to be in the rotation this upcoming season and needs to stay healthy. 24 points, 13 goals, 47 games. We know that he can score. And how does VGK keep him out of the lineup? That was a question that I had. And it should be a breakout season if he can be an everyday player. He's an RFA here in the offseason.
Yeah, there's a deal that's going to be made there easily.
Yeah.
No concern.
Yeah, but I mean, where would you play him so he could be in the lineup consistently?
I mean, you look at a line with like a Hurdle, Stone, and then Dorofeyev out there causing trouble. Eichel with Dorofeyev could be a lot of fun because Eichel creates the space. Dorofeyev gets to the dirty areas. You saw some success with William Karlsson as well throughout the season. The issue is, does Dorofeyev have enough of a defensive game to be that third line left winger, or can it improve if Coach Cassidy just were to commit to it from day one and say, hey, Dorofeyev, Karlsson, you guys are attached at the hip and off you go. So you could see that. And it would be nice if Karlsson replicates his scoring output from last season with the Dorofeyev while still maintaining strong defensive play.
Yeah. And what happens with Paul Cotter?
I mean, he's a breakout candidate from now until, for the next 10 years, I guess. I mean, we'll see what happens. 24 years old. Like, I feel like
he got lost. He got lost this season. Yeah.
He got lost last 2 seasons. And, this is 2 years in a row now where Cotter puts up, a fair amount of, Paul Cotter, 76 games, first of all, in this regular season. Last regular season, Paul Cotter played 55 regular season games. I don't believe Cotter was an injury issue last year as to why he only played 55 games. I think it was just getting lost in the lineup and Phil Kessel having a full season. So last 2 seasons ago, the Stanley Cup regular season, 18 points, Cotter's a -5. 23-24 season, Cotter plays 76 games. He gets to 25 points, 7 goals, 18 assists. He's a -11. So number one, we can talk about Cotter being a potential defensive liability. And, I remember watching the first day of training camp last year, and Cotter and Karlsson just had this synergy, this chemistry, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, okay, here we go. We got something. And then obviously as the season went on, Cotter couldn't find himself. So again, 24 years old, coming into the spot where he certainly needs to find his game. He's also coming into the time when he'll be looking to negotiate his first unrestricted free agent contract. So definitely for him personally, obviously he needs to get going so he can get paid. But it's just hard to see Cotter as someone who's going to be an everyday contributor at a high level. Like, is he an energy guy or is he a skill guy? He probably thinks he's a skill guy.
He's not.
Coach looks at him as an energy guy. And,
yeah, he's not a skill guy.
No, he needs to go he needs to go the Kolasar path or the Brisson path, and he's much closer to the Kolasar path than the Brisson path. Which Kolasar is an important member of the team. Let's not knock him here, but just because he did that between the legs deke one time in the regular season, he's not a scoring type. But just be honest here.
2 goalies in their contract year. Is it time for Jiri Patera to step up? Or over under on the goaltender and his playing time next season? When we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Gametime has deals on tickets right up until the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It is the place to find last-minute seats. You can find exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much, much more. With zone deals, you pick the section and Gametime picks the seats. It's an average of 18% savings, and the Gametime guarantee means that you will always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section or row for less, Gametime will credit you with 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets today with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You get $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Make sure that you chime in for tomorrow's WTF. We always do appreciate all of your comments. Makes the show tick here. And then Saturdays, we've got the Chris and Chris Jr. Show, the YouTube exclusive. Subscribe there, please. Jiri Patera has played in only 8 NHL games in his career. That's how he earned his name on the cup. I'm so bitter about this. Okay, let that go, Cardasco. But he played in 6 of those games. I'm never going to. He played in 6 of those games this past season, a record of 1-3. And moreover, it did not appear that Bruce Cassidy had faith in Jiri Patera. So you could take this saga from there. I don't know. Why are we posting over-under numbers on starts for Patera? Do you think that he's finally going to earn his way into the lineup? Where are we going here, Golick?
2.5 starts. I mean, I think I'll start there. I think last season really showed where the Golden Knights look at Jiri Patera. You look at so many long, consecutive starts, if you will, where you had like Logan Thompson when Aiden Hill was out. Logan Thompson goes for like 2.5 weeks straight of starts. And that happened a couple times throughout the season where Logan just looked gassed and they just rush him right out there. He takes a headshot or takes a hit in the game, no problem. He comes right back out there. And we go back to the beginning of training camp when I asked McCrimmon about the state of the goaltenders and if Patera had to get in there, what his faith level was. And McCrimmon gave the company line, which we know was a bunch of BS now by Jiri Patera making all of 5 starts and 6 appearances last season. So I don't think the Golden Knights view Jiri as the goalie of the future, as many think. I mean, Logan and Aiden both coming up on contract seasons, and Jiri Patera still doing the restricted free agent dance. So this also is a credit to a lot of things that Tony has said throughout, the last couple of seasons now, where the Golden Knights could possibly kick the tires on having an experienced goalie somewhere within the organization. I don't think the Golden Knights are going to look at the three-headed monster as Logan Thompson, Aiden Hill, and Jiri Patera as the three goalies that are going to lead the Golden Knights to the future. I think there's a path kind of going off the rails already. I think there's a path where Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill are both not on the 26 team. So the coming up after this year when their contracts are up. But Jiri Patera is not the man either. I think, we could argue Jiri Patera could have been in our first segment about breakout candidates because you would think it's his time, right? I mean, he's been with the Golden Knights organization dating back to 2020-21, drafted round 6 in 2017. So who says the Golden Knights don't develop draft picks? It's a 6th-round draft pick getting ready to make his breakout. But no, I'm putting the over-under number of starts for Jiri Patera very low based on the lack of trust from Kelly McCrimmon, who lied to me, from Coach Cassidy, who does everything Sean Burke tells him to when it comes to the goalies.
Okay, I'm going to go with a higher total at 5.5. I just think that Kelly McCrimmon is going to maybe force the hand of Cassidy to play Patera more. I don't know why. Again, you have two goalies.
5.5 isn't exactly twisting his arm to do it, though.
Well, okay, but you also have these two goalies. One of these goalies between the top two is going to fall off a little bit. Injuries, something, and I think they're going to take a gamble on Patera, the other guy, rather, at some juncture this season.
I think they're going to have to is probably the wording I would use, and I don't think they want to, which we learned last season, unless Patera obviously does something in the offseason that shows the Golden Knights some stark improvement. But I mean, again, Jiri Patera, again, 25 years old, coming into that age where it's time to use the restroom or get off the pot. We'll keep it PC here, of course. And I don't know if the opportunity to use the restroom is going to present itself with the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, again, Logan Thompson, Aiden Hill, one of those two fellows could sustain a long-term injury. Other things could slow down the season for those fellas. And obviously then Jiri Patera, as of today, May the 23rd, as of today, is the third goaltender in the Golden Knights lineup. I don't think they go as deep as I don't think you're going to see Vikman or Seville or any of those fellas potentially getting in the lineup. Carl Lindbaum as well. Now down the road, maybe one of those three goalies is the future of the organization, but it's weird. Like, you got Aiden Hill, he has that amazing playoff run, puts up the second highest save percentage in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And then you had some pretty decent goal. Like, the Golden Knights were above average in goaltending last season from a statistical perspective. We got a glimpse of the Aiden Hill of old in Game 6 of the first round of the playoffs against the Stars with that shutout.
The only round of the playoffs.
Only round of the playoffs. Yeah, there you go. But there's so many questions with the goaltenders. I mean, I'll say this again. It's death, taxes, and goaltender drama are the three certainties in life, at least in Southern Nevada life.
Okay. A couple of games, the other guy gave up 4 or more goals last season. So one of the things that I've noticed is that I just remember when Logan Thompson was breaking through, right? And a lot of the players said, yeah, we were playing well in front of him. We want to help him out. We'll do whatever we can. I never have heard that about Patera for some reason. No, I haven't. I'm just being honest. Have we?
He doesn't play enough. I mean,
I know, but I just remember the early stages of LT and the players coming out and just saying some really positive things about how they wanted to see him succeed.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Logan Thompson has done so much for the Golden Knights organization, going back to single-handedly giving the team a chance to qualify for the playoffs in Season 5. They wouldn't have done any damage. I think they would have gone against Colorado in the first round and probably been a 5-game short series given the health circumstances. Although Riley Smith probably would have made a triumphant return in round 1, go figure, and that would have been 4 straight seasons of LTIR drama now instead of 3. So, yeah, I mean, you look at what Logan did that season, and the next couple of seasons, Logan, obviously, he's done well for the organization. For whatever reasons, there is a large lack of trust in the fact that the Golden Knights threw $9.8 million at Aiden Hill. Like, what is Logan Thompson's? If we can go in our time machine here, I mean, starting July 1st, Logan Thompson can negotiate a new deal with the Golden Knights. What would Logan Thompson ask for today if it was Kelly McCrimmon knocks on the door and says, what's your next contract? Like, I don't care about how long it is. Just say from a per year AAV. I mean, is he going to say
It's got to
$4
be
million?
around 4 million. No,
Is he
I
going to
would no
ask
way.
it? Ask
Yeah,
it.
he'll ask
Push
for
in one
4.
hand and use the restroom in the other.
If
See
they
which one
give
comes
him,
first.
if they give him 2, he should consider himself blessed. And then Aiden Hill is not a $5 million goaltender.
You know, if the Golden Knights would have got out of that series against the Stars, maybe we would have seen the $4.9 million version of Aiden Hill on display a little bit longer. I mean, it felt like it was trending that direction, but again, it doesn't matter. You have to advance, and the Golden Knights did not. Aiden Hill did not, but I think Logan Thompson pushes for somewhere in 3 to 4 million AAV. I think there are teams that will kick the tires on that number. Whether he gets term along with that, I don't know. Could he get a 1 or a 2 year deal at $3.5 million per season with somebody who has like another 1B type of goalie? LA Kings, start the bidding there. That'd be a great landing spot. John Gibson's contract should be up pretty soon in Anaheim. Maybe he goes and tandems with Lucas Dostal, Buffalo Sabres, him and Levi taking Ukko-Pekka Lakonen's there too. Just talking out loud here, but point being, he's not going to go somewhere to be a backup. I think he doesn't need that, but he can definitely sign with someone starting in Vegas in a 1A, 1B tandem type of role. Boston's going to move on from Ullmark over the summer, possibly. Maybe that's where who knows?
The NHL playoffs will have an update as they started up there with the conference finals. Did they really last night? Holy smokes. The ECF got underway, and we'll have more ahead on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. There is no I in team. There is an I in Golic. There is an I in Knights. But there is one and also Indeed. That's right. And that's the hiring platform that you need to build yours. When you are hiring, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills. Indeed's a powerful hiring platform that can help you to do it all. We streamline hiring with powerful tools that find you matched candidates. That's right. And with Indeed Instant Match, more than 80% of the employers get quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment that they sponsor a job, and that is according to U.S. Indeed data. Candidates are invited to apply, and those are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in a search, according to U.S. Indeed data as well. Indeed does the hard work for you. Indeed shows you candidates whose resumes on Indeed fit your description immediately after the post so you can hire faster. Indeed's hiring platform matches you with quality candidates instantly, and even better, Indeed's the only job site where you only pay for applications that meet your must-have requirements. So start hiring today with a $75 sponsored job credit. That's right. And you can update your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. And the offer is good for just a limited time. Claim your $75 credit, and you can do it now on Indeed.com/lockedon. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. And if you need to hire, you know where to go. You need Indeed. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. Tomorrow, of course, is WTF. And make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And that's where you get everything happening on the daily and the Chris and Chris Jr. show on Saturdays. What are you doing over the holiday weekend, bro? You do cookouts? Are you like a American dude, like patriotic and stuff? What?
Working.
Yeah, same here. We don't have a good narrative there.
I mean, it's weird because obviously now the kids start their summer break, so it's kind of like every day is a holiday for a while. So
the final day was on a Monday. Was the final day of school on a Monday?
Yeah, the final CCSD day.
Let's let the kids go through the weekend and worry about classes and wake up. You could sleep in on a Monday, crying out loud.
Listen, CCSD needs that funding. They need that one more day. They need that funding, Tony. Come on now.
Okay. Also needing some funding are my New York Rangers of some sort. I'll tell you
funding.
what.
Forget the Rangers.
I
We
don't
need
know.
funding.
Yeah,
Call the
we need
LVCA, whatever. See if they'll fund them.
The forecheck, a little bit too much for my Rangers, and the Panthers played a solid game en route to the 3-0 win over the Rangers. Florida allowed the Rangers to get just 23 shots on goal. Rangers had their chances, and there was a mad scramble in the third period. That was a lot of fun, but no results. Matthew Tkachuk with a goal and an assist. Florida had its sixth goalie interference of the playoffs. It was inevitable, right? We talked about that yesterday.
Was it a challenge or was it a penalty?
It was a challenge. It was a challenge, and it was. I think Oliver Ekman-Larsson took the shot, and Ryan Lomborg was in the crease, running into Shesterkin. So that goal was wiped off. The Rangers also had an own goal by Alexis Lafreniere. And
bad. Why is Shesterkin coming out of the net there, Tony? What's going on there? Why is he coming out of the net when the Rangers players right there?
To see his son. His son is a superstar in New York. You ever see, like, they've got that meme and the son's pointing. No. He's telling him to go back in net. Dad's like,
fair enough.
He's like this.
That's pretty funny.
The 2-year-old.
That's pretty funny.
So in any event, any comments on the Rangers Florida series game 1? I thought it was an important game, and now the Rangers do have their backs against the wall. They need to get the split before going to South Florida.
I mean, this is new territory for the Rangers, right? Only had 10 games in the playoffs. Last night was their 11th game. They obviously get the sweep in the first round, go up 3-0, give up a couple. So this is something new for the Rangers, and it might wake them up. Obviously, the Florida Panthers are never going to be an easy out. Florida Panthers came in favored in this series, which surprised me. But after last night's game, maybe it shouldn't surprise me. The series price now has shifted to minus 300 for the Florida Panthers. So that certainly shows how strong one game can influence the betting trends and stuff like that. But I don't think you put too much stock into it. It was one bad game. You had one weird goal. And I mean, the New York Rangers, they had the best record in the league. They've rolled through the playoffs pretty well. They beat a pretty darn good team in the Carolina Hurricanes. And I think they'll be okay. I think they'll get the split going out of Florida, and then they'll probably get a split while they're in Florida. And then the series shifts back to New York, tied 2 games apiece, and it's a 3-game sprint all of a sudden. But that said, Florida's a wagon. I mean, Florida is a wagon. It's one of the reasons why I'm still sticking to my guns with the Florida Panthers now going to win the Stanley Cup final possibly, and now the Golden Knights are out of the equation.
Yeah.
They look good.
They do. They definitely look good, and I'm surprised the Rangers did not counter with the Rempe to kind of mix things up and play.
Did Rempe get scratched? I don't even know what the
he didn't. He was he was part of. He was there in the lineup, whatever. He just didn't play. They just didn't put him on the ice. I don't believe. So, yeah, I thought that they should have. But again, he likes to fight. We know that, and he's very physical. But oft times, he's going to be in the box more than he's going to be on the ice. Tonight, we've got the Dallas Stars, who have not, get this stat now, because this trend continued through the Colorado series. The Dallas No Stars have not won an opening game in a series the last 6 series. And remember, wasn't that the game against Colorado where they were up 3-0 and then got smashed? Yeah, they can't win the opening game. So I'm sure that will be a trend that the bettors keep up with tonight, as Dallas will be hosting Edmonton, and that'll be in the WCF Game 1. The last Game 1 win in a playoff series for the Dallas Stars was back in 2020, Chris, against Tampa Bay, and then they went on to lose in the Cup final.
So that's interesting from a betting perspective. One, Rempe looks like was not even dressed last night. So
no, he was dressed. He was dressed because him and Tkachuk were on the ice together and just kind of looking over at each other during the pregame warmups.
Right, sure, but he took warmups, but he did not. He was not in the 18 skaters last night.
He wasn't in. Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
So he took the warmups, and they probably made their eye contact, did their thing, and it's he was pointing. The Rangers coach was simply pointing the nuke or something like that. You know that.
Why couldn't we have the brawl like in the opening faceoff, like we did against New Jersey?
Because now it's time to win hockey.
That was my
games,
highlight of the season. What's that?
Now it's time to win hockey games and put all that stuff behind.
Oh man, that was a highlight of this past season for me.
So this is interesting. I mean, if you believe this trend's going to continue, looking at this series from a betting perspective really quickly here, Stars are minus 130, Oilers are plus 110. If the Oilers come out and win game one, which history shows that's probably what's going to happen here, you can put a nice bet on the Oilers right now to win the series, which would end up giving you a plus 115 on your bets. And then if the Oilers do win round one or win game one, now the Stars become probably plus 150 dog in this series. You hedge and you're making a lot of money, but it's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, but it is a nice return, between 15 and 20% on your investment, which, hey, I mean, in the sports betting world, that type of margin makes you rich. I mean, people don't understand, I think, how tough it is to be a consistent winner. So if this trend that Tony gave is going to continue, you got a chance to make a couple of bucks depending on how you want to throw your money around there. But, huge opportunity for the Oilers. Was writing an article yesterday for the Hockey News about McDavid's card values going up a little bit. This is his second trip to the Western Conference Final. The last time the Oilers were in the conference final, they were swept. So second time in McDavid's career, he and the Oilers, as far as recent memory, are now 8 wins away from winning a Stanley Cup. And, these chances don't come too often, especially for the Oilers right now. And McDavid, the best player on the universe, really has a chance to kick things to a new gear. So you might see a pretty special version of McDavid, not that we haven't already, but you might see an even better version of McDavid who will give the Stars fits. I mean, Stars are a great team defensively, but McDavid is a special talent. It just matters, can McDavid unlock that much from the other players, or is Pete DeBoer going to find a way to shut him down?
I know that you're mostly a hockey card guy, but Victor Wembanyama, they had a photo of him, social media, out looking for his rookie cards at card shops yesterday. He's a big card collector, I suppose, that young man. So you might want to reach out to him.
Yeah, no, a funny situation with Wemby. He doesn't have autographs in his Panini products, so it's kind of bizarre. I think he signed like an exclusive with Upper Deck or Fanatics or something. But yeah, that's interesting. And Eddie Vedder just was showing off an incredible baseball memorabilia collection that he has. He's a huge baseball fan, huge Chicago Cubs fan. Obviously, that's where his heart lies as far as baseball goes. But he's got quite the collection of helmets, jerseys, batting cage set up in his house to replicate the way just it would look like in the locker room and stuff. It's pretty cool though. Pretty cool to see all that.
Congratulations going out to Rick Tocchet, Jack Adams Award winner there with Vancouver. Chris Knobloch was 5th in the voting from Edmonton, and Pete DeBoer was 10th. Surprisingly,
how is Knobloch 5th? I mean, I'm just thinking.
I know
right now.
Well, you're such a big Edmonton fan. You should be able to tell us.
Listen, I've been very honest about Knobloch and
I know
the
you
coaching situation. Knobloch gets credit. Knobloch found a way to spin the dials, and they were down 3-2 in that series, the Edmonton Oilers to the Canucks. And Knobloch gets a ton of credit for bouncing the goalies, doing what needed to be done, and it worked out in the end. So maybe Knobloch is the man. Maybe he's exactly what the Oilers need, and good on him if that's the case.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much. Of course, tomorrow is WTF. What the Friday already? I know it comes around so quickly. And we appreciate all of your comments there for the show tomorrow. Of course, we'll have
too much coffee in this cup. That's why I'm yawning right now, and it's cold, so I get back to the mic.
Cold? Do you drink the cold brew or no?
I don't.
You're not a cold brew guy.
No, I don't mind. If it's 2 PM, it's a nice day outside. I like the cold brew, or if we're out and about in the morning. But that's not how the day does not start with cold brew. It starts with hot brew.
Okay. And then, of course, Saturday, the YouTube exclusive with Chris and Chris Jr.
Yes, we'll do it this week.
Please subscribe. Yeah, subscribe there. Chris Jr. will be loaded up on the cold brew, and Chris Sr. might have some hot coffee in the morning. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much, especially our everydayers. From a man, Chris Golick, he does have an I in his name. I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please take